Hello everybody, welcome to the 2021 edition of the Nascar New Year's Eve Spectacular from the Daytona International Speedway here in Daytona Beach, Florida, under the bright lights here on New Year's Eve. This is going to be a good one, folks. We have 20 drivers ready to duke it out for the $1 million grand prize over the course of this 80-lap event. And let's jump right into it with the starting grid. We got Austin Dillon and Jamie McMurray on the front row. Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, row number 2. AJ Allmendinger, Kevin Harvick in row number 3. Alex Bowman and Martin Truex Jr. in row number 4. William Byron and Brad Keselowski in row number 5. Eric Almirola, Kyle Busch in row number 6. Brad Keselowski. Chase Elliott, Ryan Newman, row 7. Row 8, Joey Logano and Ryan Blaney. Row 9, Bubba Wallace and Kurt Busch. And rounding out the field, Michael McDowell and Christopher Bell. A lot of things have happened between the end of the regular season, to the end of the season and now. So there should be a lot to figure out, a lot to discuss. Got a few hospitality things to talk about. But we're going to get all underway here very shortly. Again, 80 laps around the Daytona International Speedway. So it should be a good one. Very interesting qualifying situation. There was qualifying and practice for the event despite COVID restrictions. Thankfully, NASCAR teams and drivers were not heavily affected with that. And all the drivers were able to get here and race today, and should be good. We have 3 newcomers in the field tonight: Michael McDowell, Bubba Wallace, and Christopher Bell, all making their first appearances, and could be the final appearances for some drivers tonight. A lot of drivers trying to get their first win. Got some repeat winners: Brad Keselowski, Jamie McMurray, Kevin Harvick, and more, but some drivers still looking to get their first win in this event. So it should be a good one. A lot of drivers, maybe their last race is Ryan Newman. Doesn't have a ride for next year. Could this be his final start in the New Year's Eve Spectacular? Jamie McMurray running the Daytona 500. His first time back since. Brad Keselowski, his final start with Penske. He's going to go over to Roush in 2022. And a lot of other changes that we do not know of yet could be coming along. This is also the final race with the Gen 6 car. We're racing Gen 7 in just short amount of time. They'll be in those Gen 7 cars, the engines. But for tonight, a farewell send-off for the Gen 6 cars. The field rolls off into turn number 3. Because of some hospitality rules, I am alone in the booth again tonight. I'll explain that in a minute. But first, let's see the green flag. Let's get this 80-lap showdown underway. Roll out of turn 4. You're under caution speed. Pace car pulls off. Austin Dillon, Jamie McMurray. And let's end off 2021 with a bang. As the green flag is back in the air. We are racing from Daytona. Austin Dillon blocking Kyle Larson as they round turn 4 for the first time. As cars jostle, it'll be Dillon leading the opening lap. His 4th career appearance in the New Year's Eve Spectacular. First being 2017, 2018, and 2020. As here comes AJ Allmendinger in the number 16 car. Coming to the inside, help from Alex Bowman, and he's going to take the lead going down the back straightaway the first time. Just the 4th appearance again for Allmendinger. The other B's being 2008, 2014, and 2018. His first with the 16 team, that upset win. Well, I guess it was an upset, but in the Indy road course. His first non-road course Cup start in a while, since leaving his full-time ride at the 47. Trying to pull away a little bit here from Bowman. He's trying to get a run on him here with Almirola. And Chase Elliott moving up into that 4th position. Logano moving into the 4th position. It was a very down year for Logano. Only getting 1 win. Pretty historical win. Nascar going back on dirt. Otherwise, a very down year for the 22 team. And Ryan Newman, his final start in the 6th car for Roush Fenway, and possibly his final Cup start entirely. Now I'm going to look underneath Logano for 3rd. AJ Allmendinger continuing to lead. As we see Bubba Wallace, the Talladega winner, most recent winner on the plate tracks, moving up to the field as well, with help from Kurt Busch. And complete lap 4. Should be noted, again, I said I'm alone in the booth. The original plan was for this to be live streamed, so you guys could talk to me during the thing, and I'd have Brian and Jackson joining me in the booth to help broadcast the event. Sadly, that did not go as planned. Nothing serious. It's just other plans came up for for New Year's. So this is being pre-recorded. It's currently the Wednesday the 29th. So, but you guys are seeing it. Obviously, I just set it as a premiere. Still watch it with you guys. I might just choose to do it this way. I'm going to try and get Brian and Jackson in the booth for next year. Or any other NASCAR fans. I don't think I'm going to live stream it, though. I think I'm going to throw that out of the table. Probably just pre-record it and then set it as a premiere. But I do want to try and get Brian and Jackson back on to help some commentary in the booth. Now we got the Penske cars, Logano and Ryan Blaney moving up behind Allmendinger. And William Byron, who got started in the top 10, kind of faded a little bit at the beginning. Now he's coming back in the 4th position. Still early on, still looking for pit stops, still looking for a potential caution to come out. Cautions in this race over time have not been very frequent. There have been a few. Most recently in 2019, there was that big one. Selected a lot of cars, and you'll see that again. And remember, the big prize, you have $1 million for winning this race, but also future entry into all New Year's Eve Spectacular events throughout your career. A lot of drivers you see just run one race for that reason, like Jamie McMurray. And just the Daytona 500, but a champion of the event and Therefore, with the Daytona 500 running, is now eligible to race in this race. Showing some early speed, qualified in the front row, and is back up into the third position. As we see Kyle Busch, made a lot of noise this season, on and off the racetrack, moving into fourth position, and Brad Keselowski, the Keystone Light Ford, making his final start with Penske. He's a past winner of the event and will therefore be locked in to next year's New Jersey Spectacular, and his very first season with Roush Fenway in the number 6 car. And right behind Keselowski is Kyle Larson, the 2021 NASCAR Cup Series champion. 10 wins, put up a dominant performance this season. But has yet to win the New Jersey Spectacular. He has made He started first appearance in 2016 and has ran 2017, 2018, and 2018. This is his fifth appearance, first with Hendrick. In fact, all 4 Hendrick cars are in this race tonight. All 3 Penske cars are in this race. And all 4 Joe Gibbs cars are in this race as well. Making up the majority of the field. Making up 11 out of the 20 drivers in the field tonight. Keselowski right behind Allmendinger. Not a lot of contest for the lead for AJ Allmendinger so far. He's been able to hold the lead pretty steadily for the last about 7 laps. 7 laps now. A little 5-car breakaway at the front here. The field's still holding tight in the middle for the most part. Get a little inside look what's going on in the field. Here's Bubba Wallace. 3rd car on the inside in the second group. It looks like Christopher Bell and Michael McDowell, the Daytona 500 winner, starting to fall off the pace a little bit. They qualified near the back. They were some of the slower cars in the field this season. They were the first 2 winners of the season, however. But you have to pick up the pace just a little bit. They want to make any noise in this race. Now back up front is Allmendinger. A lot of these drivers, you see a lot of shake-up during the pit stops. A lot of drivers fall back or gain some positions. Those won't be for a little while. A lot of shuffling going on in the middle of the pack as well. We're going to switch over to that. Back over to Bubba Wallace in the 23 car as Joey Logano goes underneath him. Bowman, Almirola, Elliott, Dillon, the pole sitter. Busch, Blaney, Harvick, all of them in this mid group here. What we are not seeing here on the early going is a lot of that. We are starting to see just a little bit, but the traditional finding out in this race where drivers will get up to the lead and then shift up to the high line and move to the back. New driver will take the spot, sort of this like conveyor belt style. Haven't seen a lot of that so far. Cars are pretty spread out. A lot of fans and a lot of drivers as well haven't been very big fans of this 550 package. A lot of the horsepower packages that they've been introducing lately with the Gen 6 car. A lot of hope, a lot of optimism coming along for the Gen 7 car that will be debuting in the LA Coliseum of all places in February. Just over a month from now, actually. So that is quite exciting. But it cannot. But this is the final Gen 6 race. Look on back on some of the best moments, more iconic moments of the Gen 6 era that began back in 2013. Of course, the very first Gen 6 points-paying race, we had the Bud Shootout as well. Still Sprint Unlimited, Bud Shootout. But also you had the Daytona 500, considered one of the worst Daytona 500s ever. A lot of single file racing. Jimmy Johnson getting the win, winning the first championship with the Gen 6 car as well. 2014 and 2015, people said it was a down year. I like 2015; it was a pretty good year for the most part. 2016, it was okay. Jimmy Johnson winning his 7th championship, though. That's very much been an iconic moment. 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. So we'll look back during the race at some of those iconic moments, and later on see all the drivers that have won the Newsy Spectacular under the Gen 6 car. Coming up a little bit later during the race, as we inch closer and closer to 2022. A lot of people coming into 2021 where, the vaccine was just starting to come out. A lot of people thought, all right, COVID's going to go away. Or it's going to be not much of a problem. We're going to be, back to normal. And a lot of things did come back to normal. Crowds came back. NASCAR races. Crowd levels were lifted. They did Daytona 500. Obviously, it was more the middle of the year, but crowds did eventually come back. And then, in a lot of cases, NASCAR wasn't relatively that much affected. Just like last year. Last year was even a little bit more severe than this year. Which was good. But a lot of other sports have, especially right now, are being very heavily affected. You might think I'm affected because of my stupid nasally voice. No, that's just because I decided to open my mouth and talk for once. I do that all the time. Probably noticed in some of the other previous Newsy Spectaculars broadcasts. But I'm alright, guys. Don't worry about me. But no COVID issues in the Pringleson Incorporated TV department. "17 laps complete now. Adrian Allmendinger still out front. Austin Dillon, the pole sitter, has moved back into the second spot as that breakaway of 5 or 6 cars is now merged back in with the rest of most of the pack. See Chase Elliott moving up to third. Help from Ryan Blaney. We saw Jamie McMurray put a challenge for the lead as well in the 77 a little bit earlier. Kyle Larson falling back. As this pack is diminished now to about 17 cars. Some other drivers starting to fall off the pace here. There's Martin Truex. Kurt Busch and Bubba Wallace have now lost the draft. As Chase Elliott goes underneath Austin Dillon, this is for second spot. Nobody so far has been able to really challenge the 16 car for the lead. See how that happens. 16 cars never been to victory lane in the Newsy Spectacular before. Previously ran by Greg Biffle for many times in this event. He was never able to pull it off. See if that can happen tonight. Will somebody else take the reins and win it? A lot of drivers in this event have never won it before. We'll get that and more coming just shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a small commercial break and we are going to be right back. Stay tuned here on Pringleson TV Incorporated. Welcome back to the 2021 running of the Nascar New Year's Eve Spectacular here from the Daytona International Speedway. 1/4 of the race complete, still 60 laps to go. Adrian Allmendinger continuing to lead, making a dominant early performance. Take a look back at all of our previous winners of the New Year's Eve Spectacular in the Gen 6 car, and this the final Gen 6 race. Jimmy Johnson, Kevin Harvick, Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, Greg Biffle were the first four winners of the event. Also, Kyle Larson and the Busch brothers, Kurt and Kyle Busch, each getting one, including Kurt Busch being our most recent winner of the New Year's Eve Spectacular, who will be the ninth and final driver to punch their win in a Gen 6 car in this event. Still to be determined, is still a 16-car roaring pack going down the back straightaway. Nobody's been able to really get close to the 16 so far. Austin Dillon moving into the second spot now with Eric Almirola, New Hampshire winner, plus a dual winner back in February. Now he shuffled to the outside, but he did not have a great year in the 10 car. Came in with some pretty high expectations, but did make the playoffs, but wasn't as strong a contender as many people thought he was going to be. But that can all be erased with his first ever New Year's Eve Spectacular win. It would be this is in his third shot. Second was Stuart Haas. So they roar down the back straightaway again. Still pretty far away from pit stops. Let's talk about some other silly season stuff that's happened. Since the conclusion of the playoffs, Kyle Larson crowned champion. Matt DiBenedetto, still unknown if he is going to have a ride going into 2022. Was unable to win in the 21 car. He made his first appearance in this event last year, but so far, was not able to do it this year. Despite some pretty strong appearances, close to making the playoffs. Still looking on what's going to happen with that. We'll see a lot more shuffling at the front of the field, but still nobody able really taking a shot at the 16 car so far. Maybe it's a fuel conservation strategy. Who knows, but see Ryan Newman in the 6th car, making appearance near the front of the field yet again. This pack still somewhat 16 strong. William Byron starting here to lose the touch in the 24 car. He had a pretty strong breakout season. Only winning one race, but had a lot of top 5s, had a lot of top 10s. And was pretty much a good points contender up until the later part of the season once the playoffs began. Kind of fell off. A lot of hope for the 2014 coming into next year, but starting to lose the draft, starting to fall off the pace here. Back in the 16th spot. Back up front, Martin Truex Jr. diving to the inside. Help from Jamie McMurray, trying to nobody though seemed really to make an early move on the 16 car here. with a 3-wide action as Austin Dillon shot all the way up to the high side. So here's Ryan Newman in his Roush number 6. A previous champion of the event back in 2011, it was with Stuart Haas. It has not reached victory lane at all since March of 2017 when he was with Richard Childress when at Phoenix. As you see, they come up on the lap car. This is Michael McDowell, the Daytona 500 winner, making his first playoff appearance this year and first New Year's Eve Spectacular appearance. Now going to be the first car put one lap down in the 34 car. Closing in now on 30 laps complete. And getting closer to pit stop, still about 10-12 laps away. From that being happening. This was also a big year for the schedule. NASCAR branched out, the Cup Series at least branched out to a lot of short tracks that, well, not a lot of short tracks, but a lot of road courses that they had been to. Tried the Indy road course for the first time. They went to Road America, Circuit of the Americas. Also, they replaced the Spring Bristol race with putting dirt on Bristol. Not a lot of people thought it was that popular. Maybe trying to do a permanent track instead, like Eldora. Also going back to Nashville Superspeedway for the Cup Series for the first time ever, for the Xfinity Series. It's the first time that they had raced there. So, and a lot of more big schedule changes coming in 2022 as well. Of course, the next race, this time you'll see a lot of these drivers back on track. It's come up on Christopher Bell. Oh, man. Now they're jostling. Christopher Bell trying to set a block on AJ Allmendinger. And now he's blocking Brad Keselowski. Blocking the whole pack as Allmendinger is going to go by. And try and pull away. I don't know what Christopher Bell was thinking there, but could have caused a huge crash that would have taken out a lot of cars. Thankfully, everybody minded their P's and Q's there and kept everything steady. Now Chase Elliott will lead the charge to try and get back to the 16 car. Led with Kyle Larson. And Denny Hamlin. As I was getting back to, schedule changes. Of course, next year. Well, next year. They go to the LA Coliseum. That's just over a month from now, early February. They'll be there for their Clash. I don't know how a lot of people were really feeling about that, but it's a new market that they're trying. Gonna test anything that they can at this point. But sadly, not coming back to Daytona. Luckily though, Daytona still got this event. They've got the 500, and of course their summer race as well in July, and now August. So a lot to look forward to going into 2022. Be a lot of changes. If you want to get any more updates, go subscribe to the Jackson Jacks Up YouTube channel. If he ever decides to upload again, maybe he'll follow some silly season changes, in-season reactions and updates and stuff like that. Go subscribe to him and maybe he'll be a broadcaster in the booth next year. Hopefully. I'm going to try and get him and Byron on again next year. It's a lot better than they heard, but got to make do with what we have. Closing out on halfway, 33 out of 80 complete. Allmendinger still out front with Keselowski, Kyle Busch, Eric Almirola trying to run him down. And Kyle Larson running at the top 5. So everybody's starting to shuffle back into single file after that scare with Christopher Bell going a lap down. He and Michael McDowell both lap down. So still 18 out of 20 drivers on the lead lap. All 20 drivers still on the track. Still no cautions, as we'll be looking to have pit stops shortly. Pit stops are always an interesting time. See who comes down, who gets shuffled out, and possibly any pit road crashes or collisions or any mishaps in the pits. Strategy, planning it out, trying to make it a one-stop race or a two-stop race. Hopefully no more than 2. There's a lot of drivers' plans, crews' plans. Get a lot of time to prepare for this race. I also have a lot of time off to not keep the momentum going, so you know, this is the last time for a lot of crews. A lot of crews probably introducing some new people for next year. This is their first try at it, or their first try with new people. So anything can happen in this event. Only $1 million is on the line. Anything is possible, folks, with money. Pack's starting to string out a little bit. A lap of traffic issues playing a role in that. Still got a good lead group up front with Allmendinger, Keselowski, Larson, Truex, and Newman moving into 5th. Look what's going on in the middle of the field. Looking on Joey Logano's machine, the Pennzoil Ford. Currently running in the 11th position. Here's Bubba Wallace. This is the next group of the last cars in the lead lap. Byron, Kurt Busch, and Bubba Wallace. Hoping for a caution or something to keep them on the lead lap. Then we'll come to the M&M's machine, Kyle Busch. Another big development, another big news that came out recently, just recently, was M&M's will not be sponsoring NASCAR. Oh, and almost a collision right there with Alex Bowman, but no, M&M's dropping their sponsorships after 2022. Kyle Busch has been sponsored by M&M since 2008 when he moved to Joe Gibbs from Hendrick Motorsports. So it'll be interesting to see how that shakes up. M&M's been a sponsor of NASCAR long before that with the Robert Yates 38, Elliott Sadler, and David Gilliland, and all of them. Looks like we might have some takers on pit road. Yes, we do. We got a lot of takers, including the leader, AJ Allmendinger, Chase Elliott, Ryan Newman, Austin Dillon, Kyle Larson, Alex Bowman, and Jamie McMurray, all on pit road. So mostly Chevrolets, but one Ford came down as well. And this is the first round of pit stops as we come along to halfway, one lap from halfway. 39 completes. Oh, and there was a collision. Alex Bowman and Jamie McMurray collide. Massive collision right there. Can't really get a good look at it. As they come off pit road. And Bowman and McMurray going to have some extended time on pit road for that. Here comes the 40 gate. It's like William Byron. I'm back on pit road. See if anybody else has come down. Martin Truex Jr. looks like he's pitting now. William Byron coming off of pit road. Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch. Also all in the pits. So we'll get a good look at the pit lane cam there. It's like maybe Michael McDowell as well. As they come off of pit road. A couple more takers now. That is indeed Michael McDowell, side Bubba Wallace. On pit road with Kurt Busch. And this is where the field really gets shaken up in a hurry. Heavy damage to the 77 car. Jamie McMurray hits that. That's a heartbreaker for that team. Had such a good run going. Qualified near the front. But his chances of winning are highly unlikely now, as most of the front end is completely gone. Same for Alex Bowman, who's having a pretty solid night, staying up near the front. We'll see if they can get back in it, but they had to spend some extended time on pit road and therefore lost the draft. Everybody comes over to see Blaney and Almirola exiting the pits there. It should cycle back through to be the 16 car being the leader. We'll get a confirmation on that. See where the leaders pick up at. Yeah, I was talking about a little bit of pit road drama. Anything can happen. And things happen there. Two Chevrolets taking themselves out of contention at the first set of pit stops. Now those pit stops were right near halfway. Just some came down right at just before halfway, some came down at halfway, and some came down just after halfway. So it's going to be very interesting to see who can make it, who's not going to be able to make it. If anybody does need to make a second pit stop, especially that first group, which was led by Allmendinger, will they have to make a final pit stop? Are they going to be able to make it? Some of these other drivers as well that were maybe a lap right on the money or a lap ahead, what are they going to need to do as they catch up to Brad Keselowski? We'll see if Allmendinger cycles through. We'll see who's the leader here. Looks like Brad Keselowski has cycled back through as the leader, but Allmendinger going down to take the lead. Keselowski was not completely up to speed quite yet. Has brought in Martin Truex Jr., Chase Elliott, and Joey Logano while charging on the inside as well. It's a little 6-car lead group here, as the field will cycle back through, group back together, and get back to some big pack action here from Daytona, hopefully. Harvick in the 4-car there, Kevin Harvick. It was a very down year for him as well, going winless. A lot of thoughts about possibly retirement was on his mind. See what carries over into 2022 is that regard. It's just Allmendinger is so fast, so dominant. Look at the distance he can put on these other leaders. This front six here. Front seven, including Kevin Harvick. Nobody being able to really make a move, even on the fresh tires. I have to say, he's my mid-race favorite. And probably going to win this thing as far as we've seen, but a lot of things have happened. There's been a lot of people we thought were surefire winners. Run out of gas, been passed, had bad pit stops. So really anything can happen. Speeders just need to stay with it, stay on top of it. Front seven here. We got Allmendinger, Logano, Keselowski, and then Harvick going underneath Truex for fourth. Truex will out at fifth. Got Newman, and then Elliott, the top seven. So closing on 50 laps complete. This time down 32 laps to go. Here they come up on Jamie McMurray. A lapped car. He's going to get trapped. Going to trap Keselowski and Truex on the outside. Logano is going to sneak right in behind the 16. Can he do anything in that 22 car? As that group of cars now gets more stretched out. Harvick all by himself. The car's moving out of view. Because they're going out of view, let's take a look at some different cams. We've got our amazing camera crews working great tonight. Working during such troubling times with the pandemic and being New Year's Eve. We thank them all for being out here. We thank all the crews, all the vendors, everybody for coming out tonight and being able to put this on. Of course, we have to thank the viewers, the fans, for everybody for coming out and watching, supporting this event. Because of you guys, this event has been able to last for what's been going on 33 years now. This is the 34th running of the event. It's absolutely insane. Some good shots from our spectator cam. Allmendinger continuing to lead. Got some good shots of pit road as we already were. Oh, here's a nice shot right from the leader himself. Going straight to work. He's inside the car. As he works around Daytona International Speedway. From the back, into Harvick's view. Nice upper shot right there. And looking back, you can see the driver at work himself. Adrian with Harvick behind him. Really gets a good perspective on this. There's some And then from our special, new and improved Pringleson TV chopper, providing most excellent aerial shots of the Daytona International Speedway and the race going on underneath. Thank you to those guys. We're sorry about the test incident. They will be missed, but we carry on, as all famous corporations do, because they care so much about their workers. Let's get some other shots from some of these drivers. From Kevin Harvick, see what it's looking like. He's trying to chase down 16 car. As they come by here. I want to see what it's like from the 77, Jamie McMurray. His hood view. Probably not going to be much. Yeah, that's what I was expecting. What about the 48's butt cam? He's falling off the pace. Well, surprisingly, there is still something there. Up front. Nothing has changed quite yet. Still a 3-car lead at the front. We'll check on the second group of cars that has grown here. This was a 7-car group here. See, Kyle Larson and Austin Dillon and Denny Hamlin have all joined the mix again. See if they can catch up to the lead 3. Shake him off his line. Get there. Let's see if Cameron will make a move to the inside. Well, Truex going to make a move to the inside. We'll see. Newman will come down blocked. Looks like not. Oh, the Hamlin got stuck to the outside. Let's look at the three. Let's look for the 3-car. Austin Dillon. He's going to go underneath Martin Truex. See if Truex comes down and try and put a block. This is a good shot right here, folks. 3-car also still holding steady in 4th position. Kyle Larson staring him down as Kyle Larson's going to go for the move. Will Dillon try and put up the block? It does not look like it. Hamlin coming back in 11. Larson hold this line. He's been the most dominant driver all season by far. 2 most dominant drivers, Hamlin and Larson. Larson pulling away with the wins. This, they've caught up to this group of cars right here. Kevin Harvick. Got some action coming back up. Or not, I guess. AJ Allmendinger is going to run away with it because they have to lap another car. Here's our second TV cam. This guy's doing some awesome work as well. Larson going to go underneath Harvick here. For third spot, Logano's going to come back down. Some beautiful shots right there. How about from the man himself? That's what you like to see right there. No, everybody back there. Nobody up in front. Nobody up there. Or a few. He has led pretty much since the beginning of this race, about lap 3. He's taking control. Nobody's been able to pass him. All things considered, he's probably going to be the one taking home the checkered flag tonight. Will anything have anybody to say about it? Still got 20 laps to go, and possibly a second round of pit stops coming along. He was one of the early pitters. He has been out front, not conserving fuel. A lot of these other drivers have, so we have a very pessimistic outlook on this. I say no. We're going to switch back to the second TV cam here. Just watching the racing up front. Austin Dillon going underneath Kyle Larson. So catching up, looks like here's some lapped cars. Porsche, Bubba Wallace in that group. Thing for Allmendinger, though, is he's got the lane of choice. He can pick where to go and screw over these other guys that are behind him and get a huge advantage. And then they come back to him and not enough time to make the pass. We are around this time 17 to go. Everybody else is not helping their case at all by just passing each other instead of trying to work together and get around the 16 car. Sorry for that interruption. Still seeing if anything can happen. He did come in as one of the top favorites to win today. Only getting himself locked in because of winning at the Indy Road Course. 16 ride was shared by a lot of drivers during the season. Also notable drivers like Nascar. It's great for these teams, these small teams. They can come on these big plate tracks where it's a pretty much an equal playing field and come out and get the win or do very well, get some exposures for our sponsors, get a good finish, make some more money, bonus money, and carry the momentum as well into the future. Coming up on some lap traffic here. I think Kurt Busch and Bubba Wallace, I think all four of these guys are on the lead lap still, so it'll be interesting to see if they do fight to stay that way. It could very well shake up the drivers here. We'll switch back into our bumper cam here. Let's see. We're going to catch up. Larson in the back. We'll see how this has affected the 16 car. As they've caught up to lap traffic. He's stuck behind. It's like Alex Bowman and William Byron. As here comes Ryan Newman. This is a lead lap car. This is the closest anybody has gotten to the 16 car so far. As Bowman has been setting picks. Byron going a lap down. So is Kurt Busch. And hello, Newman. Staying right with the 16 car. He has no help behind him. He sneaks up to the high side. Is that going to be room for Newman? No. The momentum is broken. Newman, no room to move. And Bowman moves down to cover the next lead lap car, Austin Dillon. And domination continues for AJ Allmendinger, who has led all but 2 laps so far tonight. The opening 2 laps after starting middle of the pack. We're taking a small commercial break, hopefully the final commercial break, and we'll be back for possible pit stops and the finish. And we're back. Now with 10 and a half laps to go from Daytona. Looks like Adrian Allmendinger and now Kyle Larson moving in for second, Austin Dillon, Kevin Harvick. And Denny Hamlin in fifth. And again, as I said earlier, these guys are just not, these second place cars are just not giving themselves any hope to win by going side by side and racing each other instead of working together and trying to get around the 16. I don't know if it's just that they don't have the momentum or there's like a bubble or what. Maybe it's a prophecy. AJ Allmendinger must win. He's never won the event in just his fourth start. First one was with Red Bull Racing in 2008, and then the next two in 2014 and 2018 with JTG Daugherty. And this one with the 16 team long owned by Jack Roush. Was this number since changed? The only hope I have for these guys left is this upcoming fuel strategy. He pitted lap 39 laps complete, so about a lap short of the checker. Some of these other drivers, though, pitted at the lap marker or one lap after halfway. So they have a better chance, and they have been in the draft more and drafting and saving fuel. And then again, it's all going to come down to, even if they don't need to, they were just pitting early to be able to pit early. Don't know. Also a potential caution, which we have yet to see. Could screw that up as well. A pit road collision. Saw one of those already. Taking out two promising contenders, Gene McMurray and Alex Bowman. We're coming down to the finish of this thing. Seven-car group. See if they all picked together. Whoa! There was somebody up in the wall. Who was that? Well, it looked like there was somebody up in the outside wall there. Could have just been my eyesight screwing with me. But it looked like somebody was up against the wall in turn 4. No apparent caution. Looks like whoever that was is since cleared. Probably just an eyesight screw job. Now just 5 laps to go. Next time by will be 4 laps to go. Who was going to make it? Remember back in, I believe it was 2009, Martin Truex Jr. dominated the race and then ran out of gas at the end, and Brian Vickers came around to win. Truex got his redemption the following year, but the same thing happened to AJ Allmendinger tonight. Pitted 41 laps to go. And now just 4 to go. How much is left in that tank? A lot of cars are around him trying to get their first win or their second win in this event. Austin Dillon never won it. Denny Hamlin's never won it. Logano's never won it. Harvick, a previous winner, though. Kyle Larson, a previous winner. AJ Allmendinger's never won it. Here comes some more problems, possibly. A lap car. That's the damaged car of Jamie McMurray, so much promise at the beginning of this race, qualified on the front row and was hanging with the leaders until the first round of pit stops, colliding with Alex Bowman, heavily damaging the front end of his 77 car. It could possibly be his final Cup start. The 2007 winners not help his case at all tonight. But he's going to set a pick. Ryan Newman. Oh no, Newman. Getting shoved to the outside. Harvick. Now moving into second spot. So Larson and Newman getting blocked out. 2 laps to go now from Daytona. It was a year of dominance from Kyle Larson on the 5 team. Kind of being put into a little bit of a nutshell tonight with AJ Allmendinger in the number 16 car. Took the lead on lap 3 or 4. Early in this race, lap 3. Has not looked back since. Now Joey Logano moving in the second spot. Looks like he's going to take his gamble on fuel. Because this is it. The white flag in the air. 1 lap to go in 2021. And 1 lap to go for the Gen 6 car as a whole. AJ Allmendinger in his 4th start. In the New Year's Eve Spectacular, the Indy Road Course winner. Going down the back straightaway for the final time. Dillon, Harvick, Hamlin, Logano are the only possible challengers. But it looks like nobody's going to stop him now. Should be able to make it to the end on fuel. As he rounds turn 4 for the final time. AJ Allmendinger is your 2021 NASCAR New Year's Eve Spectacular champion. Congratulations. Put up a dominating performance, leading 78 out of 80 laps. Well, 76. So he didn't lead during pit stop. 76 out of 80 laps. Awesome performance. Congratulations to the entire team getting their first win at Daytona in the Cup Series. $1 million. All AJ Allmendinger. His ticket is punched to all future New Year's Eve Spectacular events. So congratulations to them. What a finish. What a day for them. And what a good encapsulation of 2021 NASCAR right there. You can interpret for yourself if that is good or not. Well, everybody, that is going to do it for the 2021 running of the NASCAR New Year's Eve Spectacular. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. I'm sorry for my voice. I do not have COVID. I swear, I really don't. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your New Year's Eve, and I hope you guys have a great end of this year. Have a great start of 2022. Pringles on TV will be back next year, under the lights here in New Year's Eve 2022. AJ Allmendinger will be there. A few other drivers from tonight may be there. But who else will secure their position in next season with the first season of the Gen 7 car? I cannot wait, everybody. So, till next year, Pringleson, and hopefully Brian and Jackson too. We'll see you guys later.